I'm eating Tic Tacs. What are you eating, Ellie?
Carrot cake.
Are you you pig. It is episode 52
Kyle.
of the 2 Minute Terminator. Actually, you know what?
What?
I'm going to take that back.
Why?
It is episode 52.
I know.
So, welcome to the show. This is the 2 Minute Terminator. When we, I can't believe you're eating a carrot cake with your fists. She's literally digging out of a carrot cake like she's an anteater looking for ants. You're a disgrace.
What?
What?
In the comfort of my own surroundings, I can eat cake however I can want.
It's not meant to be comfortable. It's a bloody podcast.
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 Eat the music.
Howdy, stranger.
Don't say howdy, stranger, to me.
I'll be back.
Okay, basically we're going from the 1 hour mark to the 1 hour 2 mark. So that's a lie.
Okay, I'll put the cake down.
The cake's fine. Ellie, eat the cake. Ellie, eat the cake.
No, because you're judging me.
I'm not judging you.
I'm doing a podcast, it's fine.
We're not doing a podcast.
Yeah, we are, we're recording.
It's fine. I was eating Tic Tacs.
Yeah, but you weren't fingering Tic Tacs, really.
No. Just know that you can't touch anything now.
Okay.
Hey. Oh, I think it's broke my own neck.
So, we've just had the moment where Kyle's put into a body bag.
Hi, and welcome to the 2 Minute Terminator. It's episode 52, and we're going to break down the Terminator films one by one, 2 minutes at a time. If you've just joined us, perhaps you'd like to listen to the other 51 episodes prior to this so you know what's going on. If you don't, I'll just explain to you how it goes on. We're going from the 1 hour 40 minute mark to the 1 hour 42 minute mark, the 2 minute scene bridging that gap. Hi, I'm Ethan McKinley, your host for 2 Minute Terminator, and my other host, or co-host,
Ooh, co-host.
is Ellie Fitzgerald. Welcome
Hey.
to the show, Ellie.
Thanks, Ethan. It's very kind of you to introduce me.
I thought we'd wrap
Do
up.
it proper.
Do it proper, since we've got like 3 episodes or something left.
Method.
Yeah.
So how do we okay, so this is called Pushing the Stretcher, Sarah's voice memo.
No, well, those are the 2 things that bookend
Happen,
the
yeah.
2 minutes that we're going to talk about.
Indeed.
So let's get on with the show. Hit the music. Oh, God, so formal. Sorry.
Exactly, that's why I don't like doing it that way.
What do you like doing that way?
Because it's formal. Oh, it's all sad and
What,
And
the
final
end
and-
of the podcast? The
No.
bittersweet wrap-up to the 51 episodes.
I wasn't actually talking about that, but I guess that would be pretty apt as well. But no, just the sad, slow music that they play. It's the same kind of
The single French horn
epic. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
to convey Sarah's isolation. Now, Kyle is no longer with us, and she's got this batshit story that no one's ever going to believe as she drives around in a Jeep Wrangler.
With a fucking bandana tied around her head. What the hell do you think she looks like?
Well, in the 80s, that obviously became a bit of a thing. I mean, you had like the very thin bandana that workout people would wear, a very thin, tiny piece of rope. You'd probably see that in films like The Ice Pirates with, God, what was his name? Robertson.
There was a time, I'm quite ashamed to say, that I used to wear like a really thin. It was leather. It's a white leather headband thing. But those days are over now.
Rambo had a headband.
True,
He wore
but
a
he's
headband.
Rambo.
Yeah, but
He sweat real man
that
sweat.
was like, that was the thing.
that was for actual use.
She heads to Mexico.
Mexico. Why Mexico?
I don't know, I guess because it's more remote.
So she's just pulled up to this petrol station in Mexico. Do we think that they chose the particular car Renegade because they want to say Sarah's a bit of a renegade?
No.
Oh, well, that's just poo-pooed that idea.
Well, Renegade obviously is the mid-90s series. With
No, but Renegade is an actual word as well.
Yes, I know. Lorenzo Lamas starred in Renegade.
Did it?
He was a good cop who witnessed some like corruption in his precinct, and he reported on them. He ratted them out, and basically the bad
Got
guys
fucked.
came after him.
Yeah. It's generally the way it works.
But it's got the most greatest, cheesiest opening to a TV show ever. I think we can start slipping into mucking around again now.
Yay! Talking about a cop that dishes the dirt on other bad, corrupt cops.
Yeah.
I can't remember the name of this guy, but he was really famous, and he actually killed himself a few years ago now. But he was a whistleblower, and he basically...
Michael C. Ruppert, ex-Los Angeles traffic police officer.
And he basically tried to expose the fact that they funded large drug trafficking.
You mean he was recruited, or they attempted to recruit him, the CIA?
Well, he started off as just like a normal police officer and worked his way up, and then they tried to recruit him, and he was like, no, I'm not doing it.
Yeah, well,
and literally everywhere he went, he had to have bodyguards around him, and he tried to report it a few times.
Well, it was Project Amadeus and Watchtower. They were the two operations that the CIA was actually just bringing drugs into the country to finance, like Black Ops and the secret whatever they were doing. They tried to induct Michael C. Ruppert, who was a Los Angeles narcotics officer at the time, and he just...
Have you seen the trial?
He blew the whistle. Well, he calls out in front of a load of people, the CIA director at the time, Chief... God, what was his name? Someone Deutsch. He was the chief of the CIA.
Mm-hmm. If you have any
Deutsch.
Information, we'd appreciate for you to bring that to us.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just like, what the fuck?
Then, though, sadly, like so many conspiracy people who start off legit, he started losing his marbles a little bit, I think.
Yeah. Well, he killed himself eventually. Bless him.
Well, he went to live... I think he went to live in some commune in Northern California.
He had to. Like, there were so many fucking hits out on this guy.
But he did talks on 9/11 and stuff, and how it was an inside job and how operations work. A little bit like... I've forgotten what his name is now, but there was two MI6 people. What was his name? Annie someone, and this other dude. Let's Google it. MI6. 7/7 bombings. MI6. Sorry, everyone.
Do you know, it'd be really interesting if you got someone like...
Annie Mashalone, I think.
Someone on to do a questionable and talk... Excuse me, saw that carrot. To do a podcast about conspiracy theories. That'd be really cool.
Yeah.
You get lots of footage on that.
You think so?
Yes! There's so many different videos and stuff out there about 9/11 and
7/7 and how they were running a drill. I can't remember the names now, if I remember them, but it was Annie someone and this other dude. They used to retired MI6 people, and they were saying how 7/7 was an inside job.
Right.
So they came across with a quite legit argument, but then the guy, David Shaler, that's who his name is, David Shaler, suddenly came out 2 years later that he was like Jesus, and he was the
God.
thing.
Why do they do that though?
I don't know.
Because it completely takes away any believability. It's really annoying.
Yeah, it's almost as if they kind of must do something to their brain. So yeah, David Shaler went mad, and now he's a cross-dressing person who thinks he's Jesus.
No.
Yeah, it's really weird and sad.
Shaler found guilty of revealing secrets.
Yeah, David
And
Shaler
wearing a
there
wig.
basically. He's talking about the Boston bombings. He basically was an ex-spy, and he just was telling people how these operations work.
Yeah.
And they're called red flag operations, where you kind of create an incident on the inside, and then you have a company running a drill on top of it, so you've got plausible deniability. So on the 7/7 bombings, there was a guy called Peter Power, and he worked for a company called Pfizer Corporation, and they did
Pfizer, the pharmaceutical company.
No, different company.
Oh, okay.
This is an emergency management corporation, which was teaching people in the banking area how to what to do if there was a terrorist attack. And then there were 3 terrorist attacks on the 3 stations they were running the drills on. And he came on the news going, "Oh my God, I can't believe they were running operations on this. The odds are astronomical that a terrorist attack would happen on the exact stations that we were running drills on." Basically, that David Shaler was saying that was the front that MI6 would use
to actually have
to
them
go,
there,
well,
yeah.
we were running a drill, that's just coincidence. But
Yeah.
for the companies there who were involved, and then you would get 3 patsies, these jihadist Muslim people who were walking around with bombs, allegedly.
Yeah.
Although David Shaler said the bombs were put under the carriages of the trains. That's why some of the photos you see, if you can find a rare photo of one of the bombed carriages, the metal is bent
Goes
from the
up.
floor and bent outwards as if there was a blast going up.
Well,
And
it was like with September.
September 11th, there
yeah.
were people running drills. NORAD was running a drill, which was obviously they were protecting the skies
When they were
of America.
when they were looking at the actual foundations of where the buildings were, those huge metal plinths, they were actual fucking vertical, perfect cuts through the base of the
From the
towers.
nanothermite.
Fucking nuts, man. Like, I remember watching a couple. I remember when that first happened, and you're like, oh my god. And then a friend of mine was really into this stuff and showed me this video, and it literally blew my fucking mind. And then I watched the Zeitgeist movie, and I was just like, oh my god. And then shit got really bleak for a while. I was like,
and that's what happens though when you have to be very careful when you watch, I think, conspiracy films, because you get sucked into it and you're like, oh my god, they're everywhere, and then you go, it doesn't really affect my life any which way.
It does. It kind of does and it doesn't. I think it's good to know. I think it's good that you do know the truth is out there.
That's if it's true, of course. We don't
I
know.
think a lot of it is quite plausible. I'm not saying that every conspiracy theory out there is correct.
Well, the 9/11 theory,
but it's good that people question though.
They painted nanothermite paint for weeks and weeks, or months and months, or even years, onto the infrastructure of the Twin Towers, essentially. And then when the planes hit, because they say the structural integrity of the building came down because the fires were burning so hot. But a counterpoint to that argument, a conspiracy theorist would say, which is quite plausible, when the planes actually hit the towers, the explosion of fire is on the outside of the building. So the jet fuel, as the wings tear off, explodes, and the fires mostly were out. You'll know that, of course, because the people who were waving for help from those scarred holes in the building, and the ones that jumped to their death, were waving for help. You know, if there was, a fire that was over
the heat was rising.
Well, that's the next point we're going to come to, that there were fires or bombs in the basement, which Willie Lopez, I think, who was the caretaker of the building, claimed, said there were like 3 or 4 explosions at the bottom of the building after the planes hit. There's even a seismic... what is it? One of those things that measures earthquakes. Someone was
Richter.
doing a Richter scale. Someone was using one of those for some building thing elsewhere in the area, and they picked up like seismic activity as well.
Yeah, it's fucking nuts, man.
He said he was pulling people out of the basement whose legs had been like so badly burnt the skin was coming off. So he says, and he reported this to the 9/11 Commission, and his report was not added to the commission and did not.
Well, it's like the Malaysia airline.
Like I said, the heat. If you want. 3,000 degrees would take to melt the structural steel of the building, allegedly, and jet fuel only burns out, which is kerosene, which is like a form of diesel.
Yeah, it doesn't burn half as hot.
Yeah, it burns at 800 degrees, and as we saw, those fires had mostly gone out, even though the fire had risen up through the building. People were waving from those holes in the building. Yeah. But some firemen claim the jet fuel poured down the stairwell, and that's why there were fires in the basement. But as I said, if there was an explosion, a lot of that fuel would have gone up in the initial thing. But it would be unlikely that people would be coming back and forth to the building painting explosive paint on all the girders and stuff, right?
Yeah, I don't know. It's fucking nuts, man.
Very
I massively, I don't know.
Building 7 is the one that raises the most ears, of course.
Is that the Octagon?
No, that's the Pentagon.
The Octagon. The Pentagon. That's just a shape, Ellie.
The Pentagon is the 5-sided building they run government from.
Well, they were saying that for a plane to actually have gone into that, it would have had to have come along, gone down, and then gone into it.
There was not much debris on the field outside the Pentagon.
At all. It's just, yeah, man, it's nuts. I definitely believe in that.
The engine part they did find wasn't anything to do with the 747. It was a Cessna, which is a small commercial plane. Also, it was the most heavily filmed or cameraed building in the world. Yeah. And all the tapes are either missing.
And it was the random, because it was the actual placing of the buildings that actually exploded. They were
the local gas station that had a camera actually looking at the Pentagon. The FBI came and claimed those tapes. They also claimed there was no black boxes found in the wreckage of the Twin Towers, which apparently is near impossible to lose a black box in any kind of plane.
Yeah, well, that's why it's there. It's on the plane for that exact reason.
But 2 black boxes at the same time, so that's the other thing. And and also NORAD, which is the air defense part of the Air Force, was running a drill that day, so they couldn't tell which planes were hijack planes and which ones weren't. So that's another reason why they didn't react. Mohammed Attar, apparently he'd had a few flying lessons but couldn't fly a plane to save his life. Said there's a lot of interesting questions to be added to that, and the same as 7/7.
Questionable.
Yeah. So basically, if someone came up to you and said machine's going to take over, there's going to be a nuclear war.
Okay, probably.
We believe Sarah Carter.
Yeah,
totally. We brought it back.
We believe you, Sarah.
Why did we just talk about conspiracies for 10 minutes?
Don't know, but it's really interesting.
It was, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So, Renegade, which is the mid-90s TV show, possibly the greatest intro to any TV show ever. And if you...
is it as good as the intro to The Prisoner?
I think it's better.
Oh, my.
Let's play it. If you are listening, or you're still listening, you haven't tuned out gone, hang on, this is about fucking Terminator. You cheated us by starting off proper.
And they've gone batshit crazy and they're talking about 9/11 being a fucking conspiracy.
Renegade.
He was a cop and good at his job, but he committed the ultimate sin and testified against other cops gone bad. Cops that tried to kill him, but got the woman he loved instead. Framed for murder, now he prowls the Badlands, an outlaw hunting outlaws.
Basically Bourne.
A bounty hunter. A
What's the
renegade.
intro? Look. Beautiful hair.
It's a bit like you.
Was choreographed by
Is that Harley? Oh my god, look at his boots. He's hot!
Look at this, it's like a shampoo, it's like a shampoo commercial.
Oh my god.
See, he's got Native American Indian friends, he's legit.
Called Branscombe Richmond. So native.
He does karate. He was a good cop who went bad. It's every cliche ever.
I know, it's amazing.
What's that got to do with Terminator? Well,
Renegade.
because Sarah's driving a Renegade Jeep as she pulls into the gas station at the end.
Exactly.
And she's making tapes. Why is she making tapes?
For her son.
But mainly it's for her right now. She's
Just
got
so she can just get her head around it.
She's got a German Shepherd.
I know, that's the one I thought that was outside the hotel, and you were like, no, it's not that one. Why would she go back and get a dog?
Why would she go back? She'd get a fresh dog.
From where?
Get me a fresh one.
She hasn't got any fucking money.
She'd steal a hotel dog.
Well, just, you know, it reminded her of the Kyle times. Why would you just go and randomly buy a dog? I think it's the same dog. It's the same dog.
How does she wind up in the nut house in the second one? Because this, you'd think she confesses all this to the ambulance people as she gets put in the back of the ambulance when Carl's zipped into his body bag.
I don't know.
She's in the nut house. in
Maybe
the
she
second
got
one.
hysteria.
Ellie, do you not know this? John Connor says she tries to bomb a robotics lab.
I know.
That's why she got stuck in the nut house.
I know. I was just trying to bring it around to hysteria.
Which I guess James, who wrote it, might be possibly just either a random robotics factory
or
or a
Cyberdyne.
Cyberdyne one.
Yeah, but she does actually say in this 2 minutes.
They don't discover it's Cyberdyne.
She says,
maybe until the Terminator tells her.
should I tell you about your father? That's a tough one, because it might stop you from sending him back. So does that not tell us that...
He knows who Kyle is.
Yeah.
Well, maybe she doesn't say who Kyle is. Maybe she just says, you have to send someone back, they become your father. You could pick Jeff if you wanted, not Kyle.
Yeah, but obviously, I don't know.
Well, the time loop we talked about a few episodes back, I said the first time this ever happened, he wouldn't know, would he? And all the subsequent time loops that happened because of this, the ever-decreasing ripples, if you will. I guess
To be fair, he'd never had sex before, so he's probably thinking, I'll do it once. She won't get
he
pregnant.
just Forrest Gumped it.
Ugh.
Who wants to go to the past and help me and save me from not existing?
A lot of men try to grab me.
And Forrest goes, I'll go. And he goes, okay, Forrest is up. And then he never gets born because he sends Forrest back, not because of the Terminator.
Because it jumps up and bit him in the buttocks. I'd like to see that.
Yeah, that's right, isn't it? If you sent Forrest Gump back, you just go, ugh.
Yeah.
And then it wouldn't matter. The Terminator's mission would have been null and void anyway because Kyle.
And her face is all bloodied and bashed.
It is.
So,
How do you feel the energy of the show, Ellie?
Huh?
How do you feel about the energy of the show?
Well, my cake's kicking in.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Okay, so episode 53 is going to be a doozy. A doozy. It's not World War II, Ethan. No one says that anymore.
How's your energy, Ethan?
It's okay. I feel as the film wraps up, I think we're kind of like weirdly wrapping up. And it's just like, so.
Dude, you should have seen like the fire and the light in your eyes when you were talking about 9/11. Maybe you're just done with the Terminator.
Hey, it could be complete horseshit. I'm willing to accept that. I just don't think the story the world was told was kind of exactly that. Oh, here's another one.
And all of a sudden, the twinkle comes back.
Mohammed Attar's passport was found in the
Yeah.
rubble.
Yeah. I remember
So that 3,000 degree fireball
all
that
that
melted
all that
a building.
fire. Yeah.
Building 7, we could come back to that. That's the other building that
But
was
there's
further...
the Malaysian Airlines as well.
Yeah, that disappeared.
That disappeared, and that had all those important people on it, and it was all about money. And there was paperwork on that flight, and again there were passports that were used after the people were supposedly like dead.
Black Ops, Mr. Garrison. Black Ops. It's basically that speech that Donald Sutherland gives Kevin Costner in JFK when he tells him like it is, and there's like a secret government within a government and stuff. It's kind
Of course it is.
cool.
It's called the Illuminati.
The Illuminati. You've watched too much National Treasure. Do you remember when National Treasure came out? And everyone was like, just ripping off the Da Vinci Code. Fuck Nicolas Cage. Fuck him and his stupid... Oh, I'm Nicolas Cage.
Do not do Nicolas Cage. That is your worst accent
What's
possible.
wrong with Nicolas Cage?
I love Nicolas Cage. I think he's hilarious.
I can do Nicolas Cage.
No, you can't.
That's how he talks.
Put the bunny back in the box.
It's a California accent, obviously, because he grew up in LA. So he's like, oh, hello.
You can't do Nicolas.
I can.
You can't.
I'm more of a treasure protector. I work for the government.
You sound... No.
I'm not Castor Troy.
You don't sound like Nicolas Cage. Your Kane's better.
I'm going to take... Michael Caine. Right.
And that's all he's got.
Master Bruce.
Nicolas Cage.
I have this fantasy that I'll see you happy, maybe with a couple of kids, and I'll walk into this restaurant in Italy, my favourite restaurant, and I'll order a little drink, and I'll look over, and I'll see you all happy with no more Batman in front of you, and it'll be behind you, and we'll look at each other, but we won't say nothing. We'll just both know. We'll both know that you're happy and you're no longer Batman.
End scene.
Tell me more.
No, Nicolas.
I'm Nicolas Cage. My Nicolas Cage is okay.
Your Bowie's pretty good as well.
I'm Castor Troy. It's more of a treasure protector. What's wrong with that?
It's just bad.
So anyway, yeah, Da Vinci Code, they were shitting all over National Treasure, and weirdly, National Treasure turned out to be the better film, and its sequel. Quite good. You ever seen the National Treasure movies, Ellie?
I started to watch it.
If you're into the dollar bill and all the wacky Satan symbols
with
on the dollar bill with the owl,
the eye and the
all-seeing eye.
all-seeing eye and the triangle.
Yes.
And it's a pyramid.
Yes, and Bohemian Grove. Have
Yeah.
you seen the documentary on that?
No. I
The
don't
creepy
think I have.
country club in like Northern California by the Redwoods where they shot Return of the Jedi.
Have you?
And they all like get naked in the woods and worship Pazuzu, the giant owl.
You know the
Moloch.
Possum.
Possum.
You know the Da Vinci's The Last Supper painting.
Yes.
Do you?
There's that funny right angle that tells you Mary was a prostitute or something.
No.
Okay.
They did a study recently where they mirrored the image.
And they found it was complete bullshit.
Well, no. What's happened is it actually shows up all this like new imagery, and it shows Jesus is actually having like this lion head, and again there's all this like symbolism, and there's like triangles, and there's this like this devil thing like depicted in it as well.
Yeah, but is that not the possible horseshit that if you folded
Oh,
a $20
God,
bill
yeah,
after
like-
9/11, it made the Twin Towers with smoke coming out of them?
Oh no, but I just love all the shit that kind of comes out of that stuff. It was actually really, really interesting to watch. I really enjoyed watching it. But
Trouble is, you get confirmation bias with a lot of this stuff. This is what conspiracy theorists do, and they'll have an idea of what they want it to be. And whatever they study and look into, they'll see that pattern within it or something, or like within the text or within a picture or within this. If you've already decided what it is, it's very difficult to kind of...
it's like that guy that I saw in Survivor Man, Sasquatch, rustling the bushes. It's a squatch.
No, you're thinking of Bobo from Finding Bigfoot.
No, it's not Bobo. It's the
Yeah.
guy. No, in Survivor Man, you know, there's the guy that he goes hunting with.
Oh, Todd Standing.
That's the guy.
You came
That's
yeah,
the guy.
Everyone Google Todd Standing Bigfoot pictures.
Yeah.
Tell me what you think.
Any movement, any sound, any noise, like, oh, it's Bigfoot.
Squatch.
It's a squatch.
Squatch in them there woods. Oh dear.
Yeah.
So yeah,
We didn't get to my favourite bit of this scene anyway. It cuts off in the 2 minutes.
well, as you wrap up,
He says if you don't pay him, his father will beat him.
well, they are
Tough
heading to
hustle,
Mexico
kid.
in this, and in the second one they
Yeah,
go
why
to Mexico. There's
Mexico?
Uncle Bob. I guess it's more of a lawless place. There's like open spaces you can practice. You can lay low. You're not in the United States anymore.
Is that because she's a renegade?
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's got the dog, the Terminator detecting dog. You see that chain around the dog's neck? To a Terminator, wouldn't that be like a human looking at the dog? Or it'd be like us looking at a mechanical dog with a string of sausages around its neck? a dog with a chain to a Terminator would be like us looking at a mechanical dog with sausages around his neck, wouldn't it? It would be like the opposite.
I wish that was in this film. Actually, yeah, why wouldn't there have been like robotic dogs? Would that not have been useful?
Yeah, you think?
You think? Maybe that'll be in Genesis.
Well, no, well, in Salvation, they kind of like, there's like Terminator bikes and stuff.
Oh, okay.
And there's a few other like Terminator-y type things. And in the new one, does that seem that like three-legged spider thing, which Cameron designed, I guess, for Terminator 2. They didn't shoot it because they didn't have the budget because it all went into the liquid Terminator thing. There was like this three-legged, walkie kind of Zoids-looking thing. You must have had Zoids in the 80s, listeners in US. Zoids.
I might maybe I should watch Salvation next week. Spoldner keeps recommending that I do watch it.
Salvation?
Yeah.
Oh, well, if he thinks it's good, I might agree with him because like it's better than 3.
I might agree.
And it's got no, because I think
you're so easily swayed, Ethan.
No, because I think it's actually all right. It's a bit like X-Men 3, and I think I mentioned this before. Everyone shits on X-Men 3, but no one ever wants to admit this. And if you say this on a message board,
it's got Robert Downey Jr. in it. I'm not interested.
No, it doesn't.
Okay.
X-Men 3.
Okay, I'll watch it. I fucking hate Robert Downey Jr.
Well, basically, Bryan Singer did X-Men 1. And he did X-Men 2, and then by the time X-Men 3 came around, he was like, fuck Marvel, fuck X-Men, I'm going to go and do my Superman over at Warner Brothers. So he fucks off and does Superman Returns in 2006, which is a disaster of a film.
Is that with Henry in it?
No, Brandon Routh. He's not the problem, just the film is the problem. He doesn't punch anything in the film, he doesn't have any altercations. Lex Luthor's in it again in a vicious land grab.
There's no fighting in it?
No.
What?
And at the time, this is like a...
Is there any flying?
Yeah, a little bit. But it's really weird. Like, Kate Bosworth's in it. It's this weird kind of Lois Lane. He's not, like, spunky like Margot Kidder. It's just awful. Really bad casting. Kevin Spacey's in it. You think, wow, Kevin Spacey, Kaiser Soze is going to be fucking Lex Luthor. And it's really shit and doesn't work. Superman has a kid in it. Which is like a pointless addition because it doesn't actually take the story anywhere.
This just sounds bad.
It is. And the relationship between him and Lois, they've got no chemistry and she's awful. She's just not Lois Lane. The chick actually playing Lex Luthor's girlfriend, Parker Posey, was more like Lois Lane than Kate Bosworth.
And who directed this movie?
Bryan Singer, who sacked off X-Men 3 to do this. So then the producers have to get Brett Ratner in to make X-Men 3 and it's a bit of a disaster. They do the Dark Phoenix saga where Jean Grey turns evil and stuff and tries to destroy the world, but they just mess it up completely. But having said all that, it's one of those things where everyone just decides a film is shit and then goes, oh, we all hate X-Men 3.
Oh, okay.
But I think it's actually not that bad. And get this, listeners, and I'll say this very quietly to you. It's actually better than X-Men 1. It is.
Oh my God, Ethan. What about 2?
2's good, but
is
then
2
again,
the best one?
It is the best one. But, and I'll do this as a sidebar. Do we not all base our love for X-Men 2 just on the first 5 minutes when Nightcrawler attacks the White House to kill the president, and he's like teleporting and just killing all the Secret Servicemen and just fucking everyone up?
Sounds like True Lies.
Yeah, go back, everyone, and watch X-Men 2 again.
And let us know what you think.
They just, I don't know. I think all the X-Men films are a little bit flat, and they haven't like aged that well.
I haven't seen any of them. I'm not gonna lie.
No, they're okay.
They never really excited me that much.
But, all right, how bad X-Men 1 is? Like, they must have run out of money or not had the budget. But the climactic battle of X-Men 1 is in a fucking gift shop. I'm not even kidding. Mystique and Wolverine have the climactic battle for X-Men.
Are they killing paedophiles?
No, they're just in a fucking gift shop. They must have been told. They must have been told, like, oh, we've got a week left of production. You've got all these things to do, Brian, and we're not giving you any more money. And he's like, well, fuck, what have we got? Right, we've got some shelves and some Statue of Liberty statues. Right, put that aisle of shelves there. Put some snow globes on the top. Yeah, put the snow globes on that shelf. Right, let's have a fight. And it's in literally, it's in a gift shop.
Oh dear. Wow, maybe I won't be watching those trilogies. They don't sound that good.
So, talking of bad sequels, Terminator Salvation isn't actually that bad.
Compared to the third movie?
Yeah, because at least it tries to do something different. It is, you know, there's lots of it that doesn't work.
Do you reckon it's like universal that people think that Terminator 2 is the best film, then Terminator 1?
Yeah.
And then 3 has to be the worst of all of
Well, no,
them,
I
and
think
4 I didn't even see.
You get into that argument with people, don't you? That like you do with Alien, they go, "No, Alien's better," and then you go, "Shut the fuck up."
I think Aliens is my favourite.
Aliens is way better
Yeah.
in terms of the structure of a film.
Aliens, then
tension.
Alien, then 4. But I know you massively disagree with that because I quite like 4.
You need to watch 4 again.
Really?
Like Terminator 3
No.
in its field is better than Alien 4.
But I see my least favourite film. Sorry, my least favourite film
By
is
the mic.
Alien 3. But I think that's one I've seen the least. Actually, whilst watching that, I was thinking, I'm gonna watch Alien 3 very soon because it's the one I've seen the least of. I think I must have seen it once or maybe twice. A little while ago, I started watching all the movies, and I just must have bypassed 3 somehow. Well, no, I just watched 1 and 2, I think. But yeah.
You've not seen Alien 3?
No, I've seen it once, but I don't really remember it that much.
You've got the Alien 3 action figure by NECA.
But that's because it's the best one.
Do you like the pose I put him in, by the way?
I love the pose.
Looks good, doesn't it?
You're so good at doing that. I need
To
a
like
lot
try
of
and
practice
convey the character of the thing
and get it to balance at the same
and balance
time.
at the same
Yeah.
time. So it's like,
Yeah, I have a few Alien toys. I love them. They're so cool. Especially my queen. She's fucking gorgeous. She's so beautiful.
yeah, it's a good toy.
It's so
It's not a
good.
toy. All right, Ellie.
It's not
relax.
a toy. It's a way of life. And the way her head moves, she's so like articulate.
What?
What? No.
Yeah, it's good.
And it literally weighs more than me. It's so heavy.
It is cool.
Nah.
Nah.
What do you think of the paintwork, Ethan? I know you're very kind of.
No, yeah, not really.
You're not feeling the paintwork.
Well, the thing that I think they do with a lot of
Maybe
things,
you could paint it for me.
a thing a lot of toy companies do is they'll like have their prototype model, and that's the one they put in the box, which is the one that looks almost real. The paint's been like literally
Hand done,
airbrushed
yeah.
done by the best airbrush man ever, and you go, wow, that's amazing. You
Whereas
buy
this,
it.
they just throw it into a fucking warehouse and they blow spray paint.
I mean, yeah,
it,
these
like,
are probably machine done,
blast paint
which is remarkable, I guess. It was machine painted, and it's a great thing. But I just think, like the head and some of the shell or carapace, the head, the crown, whatever it is, there's too much blue on it. I think they could have toned down the blue slightly.
And what about Terminator toys? What are the best Terminator? Oh, we can't talk about that yet, can we? Because we're going to do a bonus episode.
No, well, I was going to get you a Terminator for your birthday.
But you went for the Alien Queen instead.
Because I know you don't really like the Terminator toys that much.
I don't know, like the Terminator toys.
It's just
Well,
a
they're
metal
not.
skeleton.
No, the ones I've seen that I do really like are the actual like metal endoskeletons. I just think the toys. Actually, no, I
You've
really
got
like.
5Gs, get one.
I really like. Yeah, but that's for my boob job, not for my toy.
You'd rather get a
collection.
boob job than have
Yeah.
a 6-foot Terminator with the fucking plasma rifle and the red glowing eyes.
Yeah.
Standing on a pile of human skulls.
Or fucking banging cans or a fucking doll.
Whoa.
It's the one time you hear me say something more
You need
good.
to get your priorities right. And on that bombshell, we will return with episode 53.
For the last 2 minutes.
It's not the last. Is it the last 2 minutes?
Of actual
It is
action,
actually the last
yeah.
2 minutes.
Yeah. Because then it's just credits, which I don't think that we should do. Like, how can we discuss credits? It's easier doing it
Well, do you
going
know what?
in.
We've had trouble discussing the fucking film for the last 3 episodes, just waffling on about conspiracies, boob jobs, and X-Men 3.
Conspiracies, boob jobs, and X-Men 3. I think that should be the title of this podcast.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. We shall return tomorrow with another episode in our final,
Of
I
absolute
guess.
waffle.
Yeah, sorry everyone, but
Never apologise.
I'm just looking forward, although I'm still with one foot in the camp of like, ugh, don't want to do any more of these. But I think we can make the Terminator 2 work because it's such a great movie, and I think there's lots of questions to be asked in that.
There's a lot more dialogue as well.
Yeah, dialogue, DIRE dash LOGUE. Is that right? I don't know, whatever.
What a...
Anyway, we'll see you tomorrow,
yeah. Hasta la vista.
baby. What?
I'm Arnold Schwarzenegger, and I'm stupid in my head. I'm Arnold Schwarzenegger, and I have big square